Okay, so we have seen stupid people before, obviously, and we've seen people who do things like this before, okay? We've covered these on the channel before and talked about these different scenarios and things like that, but this one is probably one of the worst ones that I've ever seen, simply because of the gravity of what actually happened, and then on top of that, the impact that it had on the store. Like, even when that person, well, not even that person, there was like 8 of them eventually that went around licking ice cream for clout on the internet and stuff like that, even when they were going around, like, I just don't think it was as bad as this situation, because this grocery store literally had to throw out $35,000 worth of food because of what this person did. So apparently this took place in Hanover Township in Pennsylvania, which, not sure if that means anything to anybody watching, but it's probably a good idea to let you guys know where this happened just in case, right? So, a woman purposely coughed on $35,000 worth of food at a Pennsylvania grocery store, police said. She likely faces criminal charges for coughing, one of the primary ways that the, well, you-know-what spreads. The unnamed woman entered small grocery chain Jaridy's Supermarket in Hanover Township and started coughing on produce, bakery items, meat, and other merchandise, chain co-owner Joe Fasola wrote on Facebook. Staff quickly removed her from the store and called Hanover Township Police, who found her a few hours later and took her into custody, Police Chief Albert Walker told CNN. So, we're all pretty aware of, like, what's going on in the world. I mean, if you're on YouTube and you have that much connectivity to the outside world, you understand the situation that we're pretty much all facing, right? And there's been a lot of quarantines and efforts to try and stop what's going on, and then you have idiots out here doing shit like this. And of course, she's not the only one who sees this entire opportunity to just be a complete idiot. I mean, there's been others, like there was a guy who went around, and I think it was a Walmart, and he was licking deodorant for a social media video, and he ended up getting charged with terrorist charges, okay? So, it's not like this is an isolated incident. We legitimately have just idiots walking around the streets right now doing things like this, and it probably couldn't be a worse time to be doing something like this, you know what I'm saying? I mean, especially now, I mean, realistically at any time, like you could be spreading anything deadly, like you could be spreading a bacteria or a virus all over these products and then people are purchasing them. But right now, like the odds are way higher than it is at pretty much any other time to do something like that, and you can be getting people killed doing this. I mean, let's be real. What if some old person or a person with a compromised immune system decided they wanted a bag of grapes that you thought would be funny to cough on, and now they're completely screwed because of your actions? You know what I'm saying? So it's not funny. This is not a joke. I know for some reason people try to defend this shit like it's a joke. It isn't a joke. If anything, it's an IQ test, and you fail it automatically by doing anything like this, and you deserve for these serious charges. This shouldn't just be some little slap on the wrist charge. This is like a very serious thing. I mean, I don't understand why people try to defend this kind of behavior, saying, oh, it's just a joke. I mean, I'm not saying that it's like just a whole bunch of people doing it and it's like a really significant amount of the conversation, but people do it, and I don't understand why, considering not only even before all this started happening, but at any other time, like, who wants to buy, like, I don't know, fruit or meat or anything that someone's just been going around coughing on? Like, would you just pick up some piece of pizza off the floor of a Walmart and eat it? I mean, you gotta be a real window licker to think that that's like something cool and funny, and like, that's something that should be appreciated. Hanover Township Police said that the woman intentionally contaminated the food, and they plan to file criminal charges against her once her mental health treatment concludes. Officials don't believe she's infected with anything serious, but will make sure that they take every effort to see that she is tested, Fasola wrote. I mean, it's being taken very seriously. Like, they don't say what charges she's going to face, but I mean, if it's anything like that other charge that this other dum-dum got, I mean, if you get out of jail with a reasonable time left in your life, you know, you just simply are never getting a job again. Like, can you imagine you do something this stupid, right? Just in, like, impulse, because you're stupid, right? And then, you know, you serve your time in jail, let's just say 10 years, something like that, right? And you come out, hopefully regretting what you did, because it was a very stupid and just irrational and dangerous thing to do. You can't get a job anymore. Who's gonna hire you after you do something like that? Like, you're the least trustworthy person they've ever met. Who's gonna wanna, like, hang out with you except for, like, your family who cares about you pretty much unconditionally, you know? Like, you gotta tell your neighbors if you ever move in somewhere that, like, you're the person who made national headlines for coughing all over a bunch of grocery store products and serving all this time in prison, right? It ruins your life, and for what? Like, for some people to know what you did, I mean, it's ridiculous. Despite considering what she did a very twisted prank, Fasila said that the store threw out every item she came into contact with and worked with a local health inspector to identify and disinfect areas that she had entered. Ultimately, he said the store disposed of 35 grand worth of food. I'm absolutely sick to my stomach about the loss of food, Fasila said. While it's always a shame when food is wasted in these times where so many people are worried about the security of our food supply, it's even more disturbing. It's not clear what charges the woman may face when she leaves mental health treatment. Now, this is the part that really pisses me off about the entire story. I mean, yeah, she coughed on everything and whatnot, but I mean, the supply chain has been disrupted very seriously, right? I mean, people have been going and buying up all the shit at the store, and people who are like not really, I guess, panic buying 8 months worth of items and stuff from the store can hardly find fucking groceries anymore. I mean, what can you find at the store besides like the things people don't eat a lot of the time, right? And it's been that way for weeks. I mean, they had to literally set specific hours in which like the elderly could go shop so they weren't at, harm from everybody. And most other people have to go like right when the store opens if they want even a chance to get what they actually fucking need. And then you have people like this going around in a time like this where there's a heightened sense of insecurity between the entire general population about what's going on, and they just waste all this food. I mean, this food cannot be donated to a shelter, it can't be given away, they can't sell it. $35,000 worth of food. Do you know how much food and items that is? I mean, Jesus Christ. That's an insane amount of product, right? It's ridiculous how much that can go for food, right? Like the average American family, what do you think they spend on groceries a month? $300 to $700 depending on where you live, maybe a little bit more if you have like more kids or anything like that. Maybe I'm a little off with the math, but I mean, you get the picture, right? This, I mean, could I hypothetically feed like an average American family for probably years. And this person within 15 to 20 minutes completely ruined all of that stuff that people actually need in a time like this. I think that should be taken into consideration with the charges. It's not even just about what they did, it's the impact that it had. Not only on, the store, but the general population in a time like this. This should be like a throw the book at 'em situation. Like, I don't care about anything else. Like, you should know better not to do something like this. You should have the common sense to not want to go and do something like this. And if you don't, right, if you think that this is like an acceptable thing to do, you don't really belong in the general population. Like, there's just something wrong with you, man. And let's go ahead and take a second to consider what kind of impact this now has on this store. How many stores do you think can honestly afford a $35,000 expense tacked onto all the other expenses and stuff that they endure? I'm pretty sure that would be enough to almost, if not completely, put a Walmart location in the red for a month. Or at least for a few weeks. I mean, Jesus, what kind of store could handle that, right? I mean, if it's the only grocery store within a town of 10,000 people, and they all have to buy $4,000 worth of groceries a month, oh yeah, it maybe make a little dent. But I mean, I decided to look this supermarket up, right, this Jarity supermarket, and it turns out that it's a family-owned chain of supermarkets, and there's only 9 locations. So it's not like a Walmart or a Target or something like that. It's a very small family-owned business that is not only taking on that $35,000 charge, but they're also in competition probably with Walmart and Target and all these other big box stores, all these other supermarkets, like Costco and stuff. In the first place, they don't have that name recognition, so to take this kind of expense because of the stupidity of someone else can legitimately shut down a location of this business. This is not a very twisted prank. That's where I disagree with the co-owner of this chain. This is not a very twisted prank. This is just completely fucked up. This isn't funny. A prank has to be funny, right? That's the whole point of a prank. Someone has to laugh for it to be funny. And the only people who would laugh at something like this are twisted psychopaths. Like, there's no joke here like, oh, haha, you got me, bro. You wasted $35,000 worth of food. You probably had to shut a store down for the day, maybe even cost them so much that they can't reopen for a while. Possibly infected dozens, maybe hundreds, if not thousands of people, depending on how long the cleanup took. Like, haha, bro, you got him. So apparently she's facing mental health treatment, which of course, like, when you do something like this, it's pretty much a no-brainer, like they're going to have to do that to you, but I just don't think that any sane person would do something like this. I don't think there's a sane human being on Earth who would even think of conjuring up this plan. Like, this is just beyond that normality, I guess. Like, you have to be messed up in your head to do something like this. I don't care what anyone says. I don't know a single person who would even consider this, would even joke about this, if we're being real. I mean, you can realistically joke about anything as long as you make it funny. I don't really see a situation in which something like this is funny, though, you know? Like, you're just a big piece of shit. So considering all of that, right, there have been other cases of this, like I said, where people are being charged with terrorism charges. So, I mean, it's being taken very seriously. This isn't something to be joking around about and threatening people with. I mean, and I gotta say, the people who work at like grocery stores and all these places that have remained open throughout all of this crazy stuff going on to serve the general public, they deserve a round of applause, man, because any other time these people are looked down upon, right? Like, people make fun of grocery store workers and fast food workers. Like, you see a 40-year-old man working in a Walmart or something, and you're just like, oh, how did he mess up his life, right? But now they've quickly become some of the most important people that society has right now because they're out here handling shit when it's dangerous, right? They're out here making sure that people have food in their stomachs. They're out here making sure that the economy, or what's left of it right now, is still going strong, at least to a certain extent, right? I mean, of course, some sectors are just completely devastated right now, but what's left of the economy is at least moving because of people like this. And for people to go into these places and to fuck with them like that is just, it's cruel. It's not okay. And with that being said, thank you for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're brand new around here on my channel, follow me over on Twitter at @SubToOptimus. I post memes, thoughts, and updates over there. Surefire way to get notifications of all my newest content. Make sure to check out Shop Opti down below for the freshest, most officialist Optimus merch. Thank you to my channel members. Your support helps my channel tremendously. And until my next video, guys, this is Optimus, just shaking his head, you know, and signing out.